This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi.
Against the Flow of Mississippi was written by Anthony Oksenholt and was published by Oksenholt Biloxi Publishing, LLC. A link to the book will be placed in the description below.
Sailing Biloxi Belle and Biloxi Boy Cooking and Fishing is about how to have fun on the water. We're going to do a little bit of cooking. We're going to do a little bit of rebuilding a sailboat. Maybe doing some sailing. We're going to do a whole lot of boating, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun. Thank y'all, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Also, if you like the music, check out my brother Ben Thompson, Barefoot with a Stetson. Name of the song is Barefoot and Ready to Party.
Take a tall glass and fill it with ice. Pour some vodka to make it nice. Then add some rum and a little gin. A shot of tequila for the win. Next comes orange liquor and sweet and sour. Mix a splash of cola, get ready for the kick. You want a drink that'll set you free? Get yourself a Long Island iced tea. A pub on the wharf or a bar on the beach. All the dance moves your friends can teach. A frozen drink with a straw and umbrella, or a premium bottle from a nice wine cellar. A cup of ice and a little Sprite. You're getting ready for a fun night. Add some light rum and a little more. Then passion fruit juice is your next pour. A little lime juice and you're almost done. Now a big shot of 151. You're drinking something that is insane. Enjoy drinking a hurricane. A pub on the wharf or a bar on the beach. All the dance moves your friends can teach. A frozen drink made with Bacardi, bare feet and blue jeans. Get ready to party. Put some cherry brandy in a cup. Grab some ice and fill it up. Add dark rum and light rum too. Then pineapple and papaya juice. Add sugar and get ready for some fun. The last ingredient is 151. Your senses will flood like a tsunami. You're about to drink yourself a zombie. A pub on the wharf or a bar on the beach. All the dance moves your friends can teach. A frozen drink made with Bacardi, bare feet and blue jeans. Get ready to party. Sun, party on the pier. There's nothing wrong with ice cold beer. Get a frozen drink made with Bacardi. Barefoot with a Stetson and ready to party. Barefoot with a Stetson and ready to party. Frozen drinks, warm nights, feeling hearty. Raise a glass, feel the breeze, and you'll see every sip's a vibe when you're drinking carefree.
All right, y'all. So I had to respond to this. This is a Sailing Doodles podcast, and I ran across this yesterday. And I meant to do a video last night, but I wound up showing over here Jacksonville to a buddy of mine's house, and I said, well, hell, I'll just do it in the morning before I leave. So, good morning. Y'all are getting me barely awake this morning, but I felt that this was important enough for me to respond to it. And the man here makes some very, very valid points. Go ahead. Take it away.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. Today I have some boating news for you. There was a U.S. flagged yacht, pleasure yacht. It was 120 some odd feet, 126 foot yacht named Odin that was 10 crew or 10 persons on board were arrested when they reached land in Bimini for weapons and cash charges. So I'm going to give you more information on that, some of the local news reports and the press releases and all that. But it's pretty amazing that happened. So I'll give you more information right now. Before we get into that, I want to thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the Sailing Doodles podcast. It's different than my other show, which is Sailing Doodles. And then I have the whole Doodles network.
I'm going to put the link to his podcast down below in the comments. Y'all make sure to give him a like, share, and subscribe.
So I appreciate you tuning in for this. If you're watching it on YouTube, thank you so much. If you just have some free time, maybe head over to Spotify or wherever you get your audio podcast and just subscribe to it over there. Well, I have over 100 podcasts. You can listen in your car as you're driving to work, something like that. A lot of cool information there. Hopefully you like it. All right, so getting back into it. I'll show you the press release here. What did I do with it? So on Tuesday, October 21st, let's see here. Police on Bimini, in collaboration with the Bahamas Customs Department, arrested several individuals on Tuesday, October 21st, following a seizure of high-powered weapons, firearms, and ammunition, and a substantial amount of cash. And then the main word here that I'm seeing is preliminary reports indicate that shortly after 11:30 a.m., acting on intelligence, a joint team of officers from the Allenstown Police Department Station and the Bahamas Customs Department searched the vessel docked at port, and during the search they discovered 3 high-powered weapons, that would mean rifles, something like that, 11 firearms, pistols, smaller caliber stuff, and a substantial quantity of ammunition and considerable sum of undeclared cash.
All right. If y'all go back in my episodes to where I talk about guns, and I know I had to upload it 3 or 4 times to get it the way I wanted to, but if you go to the playlist, I want to say it's episode 2, where I talk about guns. Look, I am a big proponent of guns. Everybody knows this. If I have pants on, I'm carrying. Just assume I'm carrying, okay? If I'm wearing pants, there's probably a Glock 19 on me. If I'm not carrying my Glock 19, probably going to be some other variant of a revolver or something that I carry. Point is, I like guns. You know, if I feel like just carrying a revolver, I'll carry my 38, my 357. But here's the thing that y'all need to understand. As I mentioned, I'm in Florida. I'm assuming these people left out of Florida because they went to Bimini. It's only about 54 miles straight across from Fort Lauderdale. You're in Bimini. You have a boat that size. I think it was a charter, but we'll get into that later. You have all these weapons on board and a shitload of cash. And somebody on the U.S. side probably called customs and said, hey, check this boat. And they knew that in Florida, and again, former law enforcement in Florida here, hey, you carry a gun on your boat. I mean, this is the gunshine state. And I'm in Florida right now. But guess what the Bahamas is? That's a whole nother country. They don't have the U.S. Constitution. From what I understand, if you want to have a firearm on board in your boat in the Bahamas, from what I understand, you need to declare it. And they'll either take it or they will seal it on board and count your ammunition, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think it's that big of a deal as long as you tell them about it, because they know a lot of people coming over from Florida. But my spidey sense is going off based on this article here. Take it away, Bobby.
So undeclared cash would be if you have more than $10,000 or the equivalent thereof anywhere. It's pretty much standard worldwide. If you go into a new country and you have more than $10,000 or the equivalent thereof, you have to declare it. And so the fact that it says a considerable sum of undeclared cash, that means well over $10,000.
Right.
So, consequently, the 10 occupants of the vessel. So a 120-foot boat like that would probably have a crew of around 6. So that would tell me 10 occupants, so 6 crew, maybe 4 passengers, 8 of which were Americans, 1 South African and 1 Guyanese, ranging between 21 and 62, were taken into custody. Undeclared cash, weapons, and ammunition was confiscated. So there is a news report here I can show you from a local eyewitness news station.
Acting on intelligence carried out a joint operation around 11:30 yesterday morning. A team from the Allenstown Police Station along with officers from the Bahamas Customs Department conducting a search of a vessel docked at a local port. During that search, authorities reportedly uncovered a significant cache of contraband, including 3 high-powered weapons, 11 firearms, a large quantity of ammunition, and a substantial amount of undeclared cash. Police say the discovery led to the arrest of all 10 individuals on board. The suspects include 8 Americans, 1 South African, 1 Guyanese national. They range from 21 to 62 years of age. The weapons, ammunition, and cash all being confiscated.
So I'll give you some boat details there. It's a U.S. flagged motor yacht. I can show you the charter listing on it. It is, 126 feet. They have a bunch of pictures. So it was originally built in 2001, but refit in 2023. A lot of good pictures of it. It looks in pretty good shape. Looks real nice and pretty and everything. And it charters. It is for charter for $70,000 to $70,000 a week. Now, I don't know specifically how often it was running charters. So a lot of the owners of these kind of boats. So the boat was based in Miami. And you can actually see it's got its AIS track when it left Miami the morning of the 21st and headed, I think, very early in the morning, 4 or 5 a.m. To get to Bimini by 11 a.m. So it left on the 21st, Tuesday, so about a week ago today. It got there. So the boat was based in Miami. A lot of boats like this are just put up for charter, just for tax purposes, because if it's for charter, it's a for hire situation, so you can write it off on your taxes. So I don't know how often they were running charters, and we don't know if this was a charter trip or not, because all 10 passenger occupants of the boat were arrested. So if it was a charter trip, odds are the crew had no idea about the guns or weapon, because the passengers are bringing on their bags. Well, they bring their bags to there. So I mean, those bags would be pretty heavy. So maybe they would think something's up, because if you're bringing that much weapons and that much ammunition and cash, those bags are going to be kind of heavy. But still, if you're paying, by the time you add up all your expenses, it's going to be $100,000 a week, because you got to pay for fuel and food and all that. So it's $100,000 a week to basically charter that boat. The crew just doesn't search bags. That's just not something you do. It's just, that'd be kind of an invasion of privacy.
I kind of got to disagree with him on that. Okay. One hand, I agree with him. Yeah, it is a lot. Yeah, you're expecting, maybe people to come in there and have some sense, have some respect for your vessel. I get that, but at the same time, this is your business. And that's a nice boat. I guarantee you, that boat's probably going to be confiscated and sold at auction by the Bahamian Coast Guard. More than likely. Simply because of what they found. And you can't blame them.
you played a stupid game and you're winning a very stupid prize. You allowed these people, unknowingly, of course, and I'm not saying that the crew was in it because I don't think they were either. I think it was the passengers. But I used to live in Miami. I worked corrections in Miami. I worked at Everglades Correctional Institution. Most of the inmates that were at Everglades Correctional Institution, especially the reentry center, were from Miami. Most of them were in there for drugs. I've dealt with cartel members here in Florida, in prison. You know, you throw a rock, you can hit, 3 cartel members in Miami. It's just the way it is. Not saying that Miami's a bad town. I love Miami. But you have to look at what's there and understand that not everybody has honorable intentions when they're on your boat. Now, the ones chartering this boat didn't give a shit because they were going to do whatever they were going to do. Could it be terrorism? Maybe. I guarantee you nobody's going to charter a weapon or charter a vessel and put 11 weapons on board and have anything good. I doubt they're going hunting in the Bahamas. The Bahamas is not known for hunting. The Bahamas is known for fishing, not hunting. So for all these weapons to be on board, and the Bahamas is not a dangerous place. It's probably one of the safest places around, I would imagine. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's got its areas to where if you fuck around, you're going to find out. But, I mean, they were up to something, 100%. And I am basing that, yes, I am stereotyping. I am basing that on the amount of firepower. I am basing that on the chartered boat, the real nice boat. I know I couldn't afford $70,000 a week to charter that thing. I mean, that's shit. That's more than I'm making a year. If you're not some business class person, your average working stiff ain't gonna go ahead and do that. So yeah, I firmly believe they were up to something. Could it have been an act of terrorism? Could it have been a mass shooting plan? Could it have been picking up drugs? Could it have been whatever? Yeah. And I believe more than likely it was. My spidey sense is going off saying, yeah, they were up to no good. They were up to something they ain't had no business doing, and they knew it. So for Bobby to say that, well, people usually don't search bags. Why the fuck not? I'm gonna tell you. You want to come on my board? You want to come aboard my boat, and I don't know you? Yeah, I'm gonna search you. Hey man, what you got? You got any dope? You got any dope? You got any weapons? You got anything that you ain't supposed to have? If I don't know you, oh yeah, you getting searched. I'm gonna run a metal detector over you. And that's just because I want to protect myself and protect my investment. Would it turn, if I was running a charter business like that, would it turn people away? Yeah. Do I care? Absolutely not. So I think the crew had a duty to know everything that was on that boat.
So the passengers could have brought their bags, and I don't know what they were doing with all that money and guns. But we don't know if it was a charter or an owner trip. It was an owner trip, likely I mean, obviously the owner of the boat would know the weapons are coming on board, but who? Why would you risk that? You know, it makes me think it was a charter.
Because you
This is
stupid.
speculation. I don't know. So I'm throwing it out there. I don't know. This is speculation, so I don't want to get in trouble legally. I would guess it'd be a charter, and maybe with all the weapons and guns and the cash, something nefarious was going on, and it was worth it for them. So maybe it's a $100,000 a week to charter the boat, and they were just doing a weekend trip. Maybe they cut them 77,000. Maybe they cut them a little deal, just a way to get guns and money over to the Bahamas for something nefarious. But it seems like there'd be easier and cheaper ways to do that. I don't know.
Yeah. It's not that hard to get guns and shit to the Bahamas. Hell, I know people that take fishing boats. Like I said, it's only 54 miles. Go straight across the Gulf Stream, and you're in Bimini. That is the closest island to the U.S. So, being that Bimini is very small, you're probably not. Those guns probably weren't going there. They were probably get them in the country, and then when they're in the country, now we can move them somewhere else. Look at back in the 80s. In the 80s, Pablo Escobar had islands in the Bahamas, and there's over 700 islands in that chain that he would use as jumping off points from the U.S. to points south to pick up his cocaine. The Bahamas has always had something going on. It's just the nature of the islands down there in history. But in a 2025, 2026 world, they don't want that reputation anymore. They want to be known as, we're not like that anymore. We ain't doing that. This is not going to be tolerated here. The Bahamas are not wide ass open like they used to be. So that's just my opinion.
So, yeah. But so the main thing that I'm seeing there is that the authorities acting on intelligence. So they were tipped off. Because I've checked into Bimini many times, at least half a dozen times, maybe more than that, probably more than that. And my boat has never been searched in Bimini, and I've never even had them come to my boat. A lot of times, what they will do is they'll come to your boat, and but I've never had them search my boat. So they were acting on intelligence, which means somebody tipped them off that there were guns and money coming, be that in the crew or somebody knew something. So. Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing there. So who knows if it was a charter or a private trip. But if it was a private trip, I mean, that just doesn't make any sense because you're talking a multi-million-dollar vessel.
And let's face it, something else too. The Bahamas is trying not to be a banana republic anymore. Pablo Escobar and Ochoa and all them, they were allowed to operate because they paid off Bahamian officials. They don't want that anymore. So this is another reason why they're cracking down on it. They're trying to protect their tourism industry. And again, if somebody tipped them off, could it have been law enforcement on the American side? Yeah. Could it have been a pissed off girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, whatever, of somebody that was on the crew? Yeah. Somebody snitched. Maybe it wasn't a bad thing that they snitched. Again, I believe they were up to something. And I believe they were up to something very bad.
And you're going to run, I don't know, how much cash did they bring in? I mean, like an owner trip, why would you risk your boat and all that? It just makes me think it had to be a charter where somebody was just
Bobby,
trying to move
fast
money
cash, buddy.
around. But that's just speculation. So, so my opinion, weapons on board has kind of evolved over the years. I used to, probably when I started out, I was much more pro carrying a weapon on board. Recently, I've kind of changed my mind on that. Just because it's not that I'm from Texas, right? I'm pro Second Amendment, all that stuff. But I think having a weapon on board is often more of a liability than it is an asset, because just for something like this, so you can legally bring a weapon to the Bahamas. You have to declare it when you arrive, and you have to declare your bullets and all that stuff. And when you check out, you need to check out and show that you have the same amount of bullets and that kind of thing. At least that's the way it was. I don't know if I haven't checked in a year or two, but that's
Okay. Yeah, I agree. So I guess I was right on how to check in with a weapon, but let's talk about this liability thing for a minute. I am a violence professional. I have used violence professionally. I have professionally carried a firearm. I have had there are two jobs that you're legally allowed to shoot somebody in the back. And I've had both of them. A street cop cannot shoot you in the back. A correctional officer, however, can absolutely shoot you in the back to prevent an escape. You go over my fence, I'm sitting out there. If I'm on perimeter, I have a 12 gauge shotgun on me. I can absolutely shoot your ass in the back. No questions asked. I can blow the back of your head off and I'm perfectly legal. Is there going to be an investigation? Yes. The other one, I was a bail enforcement agent. Under the law, under case law, if you try to run from me, that's an escape. Yeah, I could do that too. At no point have I ever done that. And I thank the gods for that every day. I'm not a I'm not saying that I'm not willing to pull the trigger on somebody. I'm saying I really don't want to. I'm saying that if there's anything I can do to where I don't have to take human life and I can preserve human life, I'm going to choose preserving human life all day long, without question, without fail. I do not want to take somebody's life. That doesn't mean that I can't, because I absolutely can. But the situation has to be to the point to where I literally have no other choice but to do that. I have to be 100% out of options. I really don't. I don't even want to speculate what would happen if I had to use a firearm on a boat, especially in a foreign port. Or in foreign waters. I can only guess that nothing good would come of it. Absolutely nothing good would come of that. There's no way that you're going to get me to convince me that everything's going to be great if I was to shoot somebody on my boat. And being from Mississippi, we have the castle doctrine. You break in my house, I could shoot you. You try to carjack me, I could shoot you. You break in my car in the state of Mississippi, I can use lethal force to defend my vehicle. It's an extension of my home. Not everywhere's like that. And your house, yeah, go ahead and handle business. But if you have ways to where you don't have to, try not to. I said it in my other video. If it was up to me, I'd take an air horn over a firearm any day. If I'm scared somebody's going to board my boat, a very loud, ear-piercing sound, I think, would be better than to have a firearm. And again, I'm a big 2A guy. But the 2A only applies to the 350. They don't have the U.S. Constitution in foreign countries.
That's the way it was. So you can do it. Most other countries, you're not allowed to bring weapons. And so, if you're going to do it, you're bringing it in illegally and you're hiding it in your vessel. The odds are you're never going to use that and you're never going to need it. And so all you're doing is risking your vessel, because if they find a weapon on your boat,
you're done.
You've got a $500,000 catamaran that you sail in there and you've got a gun on board and you don't declare it, or you're in a place where it's not allowed, and they for some reason get tipped off. Maybe the boater, you piss somebody off that you're cruising with and they know you got a weapon on board, and then boom, there's your acting on intelligence. They know you got a gun, and so they tip you off, and then there you go, you're in trouble now. Or maybe somebody's just anti-gun and they tip off somebody, and it's just like, you never know. And so then they find that gun on board. They own your boat now. They've just seized your boat. Whatever. You're going to jail for at least a few days till you can get bailed out. But then they own your boat now, and it's just not worth it, in my opinion, because of that. Now, that being said, I mean, because like I've heard, and I don't know. I mean, it could have gone. I've heard of somebody actually needing their weapon before. But was he overreacting? Did he really need his weapon? Or was he just scared and overreacted? Now he's got a good story to tell. I don't know. So, other than that one story that I've heard, which I'm not going to get into, I'm like, and the guy did seem a little bit like gung-ho, just wanting to use his gun, you know what I mean?
And that's the person that does not need to have a firearm. I worry about people like that. I worry about people who are like, oh man, I hope somebody boards my boat. I hope I run into a pirate. Because if a pirate boards my boat, let me tell you something. I'm going to grab my AR-15 and I'm going to give them all 30 rounds of it. And, oh man, try me. I worry about people like that. Because again, as Bobby just said, are you overreacting? I would say yes. And you have no business with a weapon. You have no business with anything sharp or any kind of projectiles. People like that, I wouldn't trust them with a butter knife. Just my opinion. Not to mention, people like that are the first to bitch out when they really need it. Oh yeah, I can't wait. I hope somebody boards my boat. I hope some pirate comes on here. I want to give them these 30 rounds. I'm going to give them these 30 freedom seeds. Oh yeah, baby, come on. Please break on my boat. Ah, yeah. And then when it happens, they shit their pants. Don't want it. Don't talk about it. Don't wish for it. Don't make up fucking stories about it. It's not cute. It's not funny. And those of us who have used violence, we can tell when you're full of shit. Now, I've used a lot of violence in my life professionally in a setting to where I had no choice. And and don't get me wrong, I have no problem going hands on with somebody. Not with a firearm, just in a self-defense, hand-to-hand combat, close quarters combat type of situation. And I won't do that without a good reason. I'm ready for it. I'm 100% ready for it. If somebody wanted to take it there, I am prepared to take it there. But I don't want to take it there. I want to relax in my old age. I'm too old for that shit. You know? But these people that sit there, and I've seen them. You know, this is the equivalent to the old joke about the redneck hitting the lottery and mounting a 50 cal on his bass boat. Well, I know some people that if they hit the lottery, they would absolutely mount a 50 cal on their bass boat. Does that mean that they have sense? No. And if you ain't got no sense, you ain't got no business with a weapon. Use this. Use your head. My favorite weapon to use, the most important weapon to use, is this up here. This keeps you out of trouble. You go in there and you looking for trouble. Not only you gonna find it, you supposed to find it.
So I just think it's more of a hindrance than it is an asset, and it's more of a liability. I mean, you are likely to get more in trouble than to need it. That being said, like, what I could foresee doing and what I would maybe do, of course, I would never tell anybody. And I'm not doing this on my boat, so don't try to turn me in. My boat's being built in Thailand. There's no way I'm getting a weapon on board. So, like, I don't have a weapon on board. Okay, maybe I do. Don't come mess with my boat in the middle of the night. I don't know. See, that's the thing. You don't tell anybody if you have a weapon on board or not, because,
Shut the fuck up about it if you do. If you don't have one, shut the fuck up about it. Exactly what he's saying. I don't want to hear, oh, I got a weapon on board, or, oh, no, I don't carry weapons on board. Either way, you might open yourself up to be a target, a victim. Because if you got a weapon on board and you leave your boat unattended and you're hanging out with a bunch of other boat people and somebody's there that's just listening in, that's just, whatever, they go break into your boat and they do find your weapon that you may or may not have. Guess what? As I said in my other video, you just gave a criminal a weapon. Now he goes and murders somebody with it. Even in a foreign port, I'm pretty sure, especially in a place like the Bahamas, they can call the ATF here and say, hey, see if this gun's in your system. The serial number is blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah. What kind of weapon is it? Well, it's a Glock 21 45 automatic. Well, you know what? We see that gun was last sold by our records at Hanny's Pawn Shop in Biloxi, Mississippi. Oh, okay. And then they come up and they see Sailing Biloxi Belle, Biloxi, Mississippi. Wonder where it came from. And then they walk up to you. Hey, so do you have any weapons on board? We're going to search your vessel. And then they find a box of 45 ACP. You didn't declare this. Where's your weapon at? You see how easy the investigation is? And it's easy. It's not hard. I don't know what the probable cause requirement is in the Bahamas. But I ain't got a reason to find out either. And again, that murder is on your head.
If you do have one, you don't tell them, right? Because
right, shut the fuck up.
Oh, great. Why is this guy stopping? Anyway, sorry, there's a guy stopping right in front of my Starlink out there. But I'm not doing this live, so it doesn't matter. He's got his big RV, so I'm in my RV right now. But what I would do is I would like fiberglass a weapon in, so like it's permanently in there. Like the weapon cannot be found. It looks like it's structurally part of the boat, but you know where it is, and it's painted. So that you fiberglass it in. It's painted, in the bilge so that it all looks the same and you can't tell anything's there. That way, if you ever need it, you can chip that fiberglass out and get it. And the only reason I would have that there is it's the end of the world. The zombie.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly. First off, if you need it, when it comes to a point to where you will need your firearm, milliseconds matter. Milliseconds are like hours. Do you really have time to chip that up? Do you really have time to be cutting into fiberglass? What are you going to do? Keep a loaded Sawzall sitting there and just, or an angle grinder and just, cut a hole in your boat to get your gun? Shit, that's not where I had it. Where did I have it? Was it port side or starboard side? No. Disagree wholeheartedly. 100%. If it's not where you need it, when you need it, you have problems. Excuse me, Mr. Pirate. Hold on a minute. I'm cutting my. Hang on a minute. I'm coming. Just hold on. Give me a minute. I'm almost got my Glock out. Okay, I almost got it out. Come on, man. No. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Not to mention, put it in the bilge. Okay, let's think about this for a minute. What's the two biggest enemies to guns? Rust and politicians. What's in the bilge? Water. You think your firearm's not going to rust? You're going to pull it out and maintain it routinely? What are you going to do? Pull it out once a week and then re-glass over it? Come on, ain't nobody going to do that. No. Absolutely not. I really hope you were joking, Bobby. I really do. I'm telling you, I would take a loud whistle or a loud horn over a gun any day of the week. I would rather scare the shit out of them and have them jump in the water rather than have to worry about doing all that crazy shit. You can't have a gun slick somewhere on the boat. You can, but if it's easily accessible and you try to sneak it into a foreign port, they're going to find it. If it's hard to get to, you're not going to have it when you need it. Those are the trades off. Them's the rules, y'all. Them's the rules.
The apocalypse is happening, or an EMP, or World War III, or a nuclear war, whatever. Right?
You're dead anyway. I'm sorry. You're off in the sweet by and by if any of that happens. Y'all, I know we all want to be the badass. We all grew up watching, Chuck Norris and Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme and, Jason Statham and, John Wick and all that shit. Let me tell y'all something. That's all fucking Hollywood. You ain't that much of a badass. Ain't nobody that much of a badass. Hell, in an EMP situation, or nuclear bomb, or World War III, yeah, you might as well just go ahead and accept fate. I no, wholeheartedly disagree with that.
Right? Then you can have it on there. Then you might definitely need it on board. So that's what I would do, something like that. Of course, consult your local laws. I am not an attorney. I'm not advising you to do anything illegally. I'm saying hypothetically, if that were available and it was whatever. So I'm not. You do what you do. This is not legal advice. But it's just that I'm sorry if my opinion pisses some people off, but it's just an opinion, right? You can do whatever you want to do. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm not telling you your thoughts are right or wrong. You can do what you want to do.
He's right. And again, don't take what I'm saying as, oh, well, this is gospel either. I said this in the other video, and I guess I'll bring it up here. How trained are you with your weapon? How confident are you with your weapon? I'm good for 50, 60 yards with a Glock, a pistol. Give me an old bolt action rifle. Of course, again, I grew up in the South. We have guns. Give me an old bolt action Mosin Nagant. I'm good for, a few hundred yards. Give me a 30-30. I'm pretty fair out, with it. I've had weapons retention training. You're not going to, if I've got it on my hip in a holster, excuse me, and you go to reach for it, you're going to pull your hand back in pieces. I am going to break your motherfucking hand. But I know how to do that. I know how to stop somebody from getting my weapon. And this is the other thing. If you're not confident and you're not trained in weapons retention, somebody comes on board and they take your gun from you. Let me tell you what you are. You are what we call a victim. You are what we call shot with your own gun. It's that simple, people. You are 100% shot with your own gun if you don't know how to keep a hold of it. Here's the other thing, too. How many points of ingress and egress does most sailboats have? I would say no more than 3. The companionway. Some boats have 2 companionway, like the Morgan Out Island 41. Beautiful boat. But most have 1 companionway and maybe 2 hatches. I'm a big guy. I can't really fit through a hatch. I'm 5'10", 300 plus. I can go through a companionway just fine. So really, I'm down to 1 point of ingress and egress on the boat. If you're a little smaller, Bobby looks pretty small. He could probably go through a hatch. Where do you think, if you have somebody coming on your boat, where do you think they're going to be pointing their weapon? Probably at the companionway. And again, these people that y'all are trying to defend yourself from, they're skilled in violence too. Y'all think about that.
I just think in general, it's more of a hindrance because you can bring it places, but then you got to declare it, and it's a lot of work. So, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. Anyway, I don't know. Tell me down in the comments below. Do you like this kind of just more news information? I'm trying to do some of these occasionally when I find an interesting news story. And do that. So leave me a comment down below. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Should weapons be kept on board? Should they not? And then also, what other topics do you want to see brought up in the next podcast? So thank you guys. And of course, if you would like to really help out the podcast, become a patron or a channel member or join the Sailing Doodles Navy. I am going to be putting it out today. I'm going to ask all my patrons and the Sailing Doodles Navy and all those guys. I'm going to do an Ask Me Anything. So if you want your question answered in the next podcast, join Patreon at patreon.com/sailingdoodles or sailingdoodles.podia.com, and I will answer your question in the next podcast. So thank you guys, and I will see you on the next one.
All right. So I'm going to give you my closing thoughts, and then I'm going to compile this video and go to work. You need to weigh your options. I'm not telling you not to carry a firearm. I'll neither confirm nor deny whether I'm carrying one or not. I'm going to go ahead and say it's none of your fucking business what I have on my boat. And I'm meaning that in every sense of the word. It's none of your damn business what I've got on my boat. However, be smart. Don't be stupid. And if you're doing something stupid, doing something illegal, it ain't when your dumb ass gets caught, or it ain't if your dumb ass gets caught, it's when. I'm going to tell you right now, they can see every ship, every boat. I don't care if it's a bass boat, if it's a John boat, or if it's a full-on Navy battleship or heavy cruiser or frigate or Aegis cruiser, whatever. They know every boat at sea. They know where you left port. They probably got a pretty good idea where your next port of call is. You're not going to get away with it. So how about instead of being stupid when we go to foreign countries, how about we be smart and follow their rules? I promise you, it's a lot less headaches. If you have a question, let's assume you're going to carry a firearm on board. And let's just say you want to go to Jamaica. You want to go to the Caymans. You want to go to Barbados. You want to go wherever. Call the consulate. Every country just about has a U.S. consulate. that you can reach out to and say, hey, look, I'm going to be coming by ship or by boat on this day, give or take. I would like to know. I am a U.S. flag vessel, and I have a small firearm on board. What are your laws? Am I allowed to do this? What do I need to do when I get there? Do I need to declare it? Do I need to, am I allowed to declare it? Do I need to have it out taken apart? Do I need to have it locked up? Do I need to have a trigger lock on it? What are your requirements for your specific country? Come on, people. What's a phone call? I can make international calls with this. I call people in Australia all the time that are friends of mine. It ain't hard to make a phone call and say, hey, look, what do I need to do? I would like to not violate the laws of your country. What do I need to do? I'm coming into this port. I'm coming into Kingston, Jamaica. What do I need to do? And then if you know you're going to go island hop and visit other countries, call up their consulate too. Call up, small islands probably only have one or two police departments, maybe a Coast Guard, something. Call them up. And if you're not, and if they say absolutely not, you're not allowed to bring any firearms. You bring firearms in here, we're going to lock your ass in prison. Maybe you either A, should take the firearm off your boat, or B, shouldn't go there. Just my thoughts, y'all. Y'all have a good day. I got to go to work. Sailing Biloxi Belle, your host, Anthony Oksenholt.